Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we journey back to the sun-scorched sands of Egypt, to a time of monumental upheaval, where the fate of an empire and two of history's most iconic lovers hung precariously in the balance. We're diving deep into the final, heart-wrenching days of Antony and Cleopatra. The year is 30 BC. The naval battle of Actium has been lost. A crushing defeat. Imagine the scene. Marcus Antonius, Mark Antony, a man once hailed as a titan of Rome, a general of legendary prowess, now sits in utter desolation on the shores of Alexandria. The world he knew, the power he wielded, the future he envisioned with his queen, all of it has been shattered by the tactical genius of his rival, Octavian. Reports from the battlefield paint a grim picture. Antony's once loyal legions, the very men who had followed him to the ends of the known world, are now surrendering, flocking to Octavian's banner. For Antony, this isn't just a military loss. It's a profound personal betrayal. He locks himself away in a solitary tower he has built, naming it the Timinum, after the Greek philosopher who famously shunned all of mankind. In this self-imposed exile, Antony spirals into a deep despair, nursing his wounds with wine and bitterness, a ghost haunting the ruins of his own ambition. Meanwhile, Cleopatra, the Queen of the Nile, is not idle. She is a ruler, a mother, and a survivor. While Antony drowns in his sorrow, she is frantically trying to salvage what's left. She knows Octavian's arrival is imminent. Her primary concern is not just her own life, but the lives of her children, especially Caesarion, her son with Julius Caesar, the rightful heir to a legacy Octavian is determined to erase. Cleopatra sends emissaries to Octavian, attempting to negotiate, offering to abdicate in favor of her children. But Octavian is unyielding. He wants more than just Egypt. He wants its queen. He wants Cleopatra alive, to be paraded through the streets of Rome in his triumph, the ultimate symbol of his victory. He dispatches his men to capture her, but she is far too clever. Seeing the futility of negotiation, Cleopatra retreats to her own fortress, a grand mausoleum she had constructed, filled with her vast treasures of gold, silver, and precious spices. With her are her most trusted attendants, Iris and Charmian. She spreads a rumor that she has taken her own life, a message intended for one man's ears alone. From within these stone walls, she prepares for her final stand. A queen, cornered but unbowed. The news of Cleopatra's supposed death reaches Antony, and it shatters the last remnants of his will to live. He is convinced that the love of his life is gone, that the world now holds nothing for him. In this moment of absolute grief, a profound shift occurs. The bitterness, the despair, it all melts away, replaced by a single burning desire to join his queen in the afterlife. Loyalty, he feels, has died on the battlefield, but love is eternal. He turns to his most faithful servant, a man named Eros, and makes a solemn request. He asks Eros to end his life, but Eros, who has served Antony with unwavering devotion, cannot bring himself to strike down his master. In a heart-wrenching act of final loyalty, Eros draws the sword, turns it upon himself, and falls dead at Antony's feet. Witnessing this, Antony is both humbled and resolved. "Well done, Eros," he whispers. "You have shown your master how to do what you were reluctant to do yourself." With those words, he takes the same sword and plunges it into his own stomach. But the blow is not immediately fatal. As Antony lies bleeding, a messenger arrives, gasping for breath. The news is astonishing. Cleopatra is alive. She is barricaded in her mausoleum and has sent for him. A flicker of life returns to Antony's eyes. His final wish is no longer to die, but to die in her arms. His loyal guards, his last remaining friends, carefully carry their dying general to the base of the mausoleum. The doors are sealed, so Cleopatra and her attendants lower ropes from a window high above. In a scene of pure, desperate agony, they hoist the bleeding Antony up the stone walls. It is a monumental effort, a final, grueling act of love and devotion. They pull him inside, and he collapses into Cleopatra's embrace. There, surrounded by the scent of incense and the glitter of treasure, Mark Antony, the great Roman general, takes his last breath, his head resting on the chest of the woman for whom he lost everything. Cleopatra's grief is a storm, a tempest of sorrow that shakes the very foundations of her being. She weeps, she tears at her clothes, her wails echoing through the stone tomb. She has lost her partner, her love, the father of her children, and the co-ruler of her dreams. But even in her profound sorrow, the queen remains. Her mind is still sharp, her will unbroken. Soon, Octavian's men, led by Proculaeus, manage to gain entry to the mausoleum through a ruse. They capture her. Cleopatra is now a prisoner in her own palace. Octavian visits her, his demeanor calm, almost courteous. He tries to reassure her, promising she will be treated with honor. But Cleopatra is not fooled. She sees the cold ambition in his eyes. She knows his true intention: to shame her in a Roman triumph, to display her like a caged animal. This is a fate worse than death for the proud descendant of the Ptolemies. She will not be a spectacle. She will not be a trophy. For a few days, she is kept under close guard. She is allowed to perform the final funeral rites for Antony, a small mercy from her conqueror. But all the while, she is plotting her escape not from Egypt, but from life itself and from the humiliation Octavian has planned. In her final days, she composes herself. She bathes, dresses in her finest royal robes, and shares a final meal with her loyal attendants, Iris and Charmian. A rural man is permitted to deliver a basket of figs to her chambers. The guards inspect it, but find nothing suspicious. They do not know that hidden beneath the sweet fruit is an asp, a venomous serpent, a symbol of divine royalty and the key to her final act of defiance. The exact method of her death remains a mystery, debated by historians for centuries. But the most enduring account tells us that she pressed the snake to her body, welcoming its fatal bite. When Octavian's guards burst into the room, they found a scene of majestic, silent tragedy. Cleopatra lay dead upon her golden couch, dressed as a queen. Iris was dead at her feet, and Charmian, barely clinging to life, was adjusting the diadem on her mistress's head. "Was this well done of your lady, Charmian?" one of the guards asked. "Excellently well," she replied, "and fitting for the descendant of so many kings." And then she too collapsed and died. With Cleopatra's death, the Ptolemaic dynasty, which had ruled Egypt for 3 centuries, came to an end. Egypt, the wealthiest kingdom in the Mediterranean, was annexed as a province of Rome. Octavian, now the undisputed master of the Roman world, returned to the capital in triumph. He would soon be granted the title Augustus, becoming the first Roman emperor, and ushering in an era of peace and stability, known as the Pax Romana. But this new chapter was written with the blood of Antony and the venom of an asp. The epic, passionate, and ultimately tragic love story of Antony and Cleopatra became a legend, a cautionary tale of ambition, and a timeless romance that continues to captivate us to this day. Their deaths marked not just the end of their lives, but the end of an era and the dawn of a new empire. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey back in time. If you found this story as compelling as I did, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next historical deep dive. We'll see you in the next one.